Welcome back.
Why would you sigh like that?
Because sometimes you have to.
Welcome
It's
back,
too
y'all.
much going on.
It was a lot going on to get this episode started. I don't know why. It didn't want us to be great.
And this is a back-to-back.
Yeah. We're going to start doing that more often because we got content to get out.
This is true.
Got work to do.
We're in the time where everybody's a content creator.
Yeah. That's true. I mean, make your money how you get it.
But if you're not making money, we barely making money.
Hey, you know, you got to do what you got to do until that time comes.
What about someone who just posts on Instagram because they want to show off their cool ring or something?
Then that's what they do.
So but are they really content creators? I mean, technically you've created a piece of content for the internet to consume.
Yeah. I mean, it depends. Are they getting ring promotion deals from companies because they notice how many people interact with that picture?
The world may never know.
You asked the question now.
Well, welcome back.
Welcome. We back with another one. Hey.
Happy Women's History Month, everybody.
Yes. National Women's History Month. I don't know if it's national.
What?
Shout out to the women.
Shout out to the women.
Hey. I love being a woman. It's such an amazing thing. And we've done so many great things. And
can you name some of the great things you've done?
Some of the great things I've done? Well, I gave birth to a child.
Okay, hold on. Let's clap it up. That
I carried for 10 months, 40 weeks exactly.
Dang, wait.
Yes, they say 9 months, but in reality, it's 40. Those who know. I mean, it's 10 because it's 4 weeks in a month, and some people carry for 40 weeks. So 40 divided by 4 is 10.
Learn something new every day.
So they should say 10 months, but most of the time, yes, they do say 9. So, I mean, I did that. That was lit. I started my own business where I teach women, how to gain confidence through dance and, how to start just loving their bodies more through dance. I mean, I've done a lot. I've graduated school with honors, not college. We're going to get back there where I'll be able to listen so I can start helping more people. This is what we're talking about. I really want to go back to school to study psychology so I can eventually open up my own practice to counsel young women who have dealt with emotional, physical, or mental trauma. So, yeah, I'm really excited for that. And I started a business with my friend. We are doing our launch very soon. I will make sure I announce that on here when I got the details, where our first event was like a vision board party. I think I mentioned that.
You did mention that the last time.
So, yeah, we like women to get together and just celebrate each other, celebrate where we are now, and, go from there. It's better coming. Better is on the way. Let's get it. Let's go.
All right. Congrats to Courtney for all those great accomplishments.
And more to come, because this is just the beginning.
So what we getting into? You're the lead on this one. It's Women's Month. I'm gonna leave this episode for the women. A lot of our listeners are women.
Yeah. So with that being said,
we love women.
We love y'all. And
I came from a woman.
Yes. Mama did that. And honestly, I wanted to just talk today with it being, Women's History Month. Of course, the history as to how we got to where we are today as a modern woman. We're able to work, make money, get our own place, do all of this stuff. But it was the traditional woman that, set the path for that. She was the one that paved the way, because the traditional roles, taking care of the house, cooking, cleaning, that was the thing. Most of the time, women weren't working. Even if you go all the way back to, I would say slavery days, but in a way, clearly they were working because they were slaves, but it was still this idea, especially for black women, like to nurture the babies, to raise the babies. That's where it came about, where black women would actually breastfeed the white woman's children and all of those things. So it goes all the way back to that for real. And then, women started making this way where it's just like, it really started when men started going off to the army. So when men had to go away, women had to do something, to make money for their families. So when men started to go away, having to go to the war, it was around that time when women had to start like stepping up because they got to do something.
Yeah, they put them in the factories because they needed someone to make the equipment, make all the aircraft and tanks and whatnot. Mm-hmm. They even had children in there at one point.
I believe it. I remember hearing that too. That's why I'm like, it's crazy when you think about it. Yeah, because World War One was 1914 and 1918. So around that time, they like, all right, we need women. Because it's crazy because I know women, they started to fight more because they're like, all right, we not just in a house no more. Y'all got us out here and we can't even vote. So that's when they started fighting just to even vote. And it was in the 1920s when women were finally able to vote. So.
And that's the 19th Amendment?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So they were finally able to vote then. So, like, you got to think about it. They working, doing all this other stuff. We've been doing stuff. And we couldn't even vote like men did. So, it was hard for them when they started finally getting to the point where they could work, make money, take care of the kids, even though in a way I see stuff that was like, why did women want to vote and work? Why couldn't we just stay at home? What was wrong with that? But it was, again, reasons why, like wars and stuff, why they had to start, doing those things anyway.
So are there any women in your life you look up to now?
Yeah, definitely. I even think of like my great grandparents who I was able to see them, at a later state in life, and just how much I knew that they did in the beginning as far as raising their children and, what they had to go through during those times. So I look at them. Of course, I look at my mom who, she had to work, take care of us. And it's a lot, on a woman to have to work and do all these things, especially as a single mother. So, I commend, especially, y'all know I did this when we did the first episode when I shouted out to the single mamas. I commend them. And that's basically how it was for women when their husbands went off to the army. That's literally what they basically were. They had to do all of that on their own. So I commend them. They've been doing this. We think, oh, this is something new. Like, everything is, what's the word when they say, like, it just gets, I can't think of the word.
I'm not even going to try. I got it wrong
the last time. When everything goes around like full circle or something like that is, I think, what I'm trying to say.
So how do you feel about people when they get upset of when women are trying to do more for themselves, try to better themselves, and they're trying to put women back in their quote unquote traditional place of just, this is all you do. You don't work. You're not supposed to be the breadwinner, all this stuff.
I think it's weird when people try to do that. And most of the time, if people try to do that, it's usually a man. Usually most of the time, it's not a woman saying, ma'am, you don't need to work. You don't need to do this and get this on your own. So most of the time it's men, and those are men that's narcissists. They want to control you. They want you to be in a place where you can't leave, because if you were making money, you would be able to walk away if you need to. So usually that type of person is a man who, ladies, run, red flag usually if they're acting like that, because they're definitely trying to control you and make sure that you don't have the capabilities to get away once they start possibly, showing you those signs of, being a narcissist or violent and stuff like that. That's why, some women can't leave once they get in these situations where they're with somebody because they didn't definitely already told them from the beginning, oh no, you don't gotta do anything. And it just depends. I'm not saying it's like that for every person that tell you not to work. Some people partners tell them not to work and they are a wonderful partner, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, if a woman is being ambitious and saying, I want to do this, I want to do that, let her. Why shut a woman down who actually wants to go out and do these things for herself? That's that mindset too, like where they used to feel like women shouldn't work, especially when we start fighting for equal pay and all of these different things.
And even today, it's still not quite there.
Yeah.
I got a small story about that. I got hired to work at Lowe's, and my like 2 jobs ago, I had worked at Home Depot, but this was like 2 years ago. And when I got in, I got paid like $13 and some change. And the girl who got hired in with me, she had just came from Home Depot, and her pay was $11. So they paid me more just because I'm a man, even though I haven't had that experience in over 2 years, versus this woman who just came from that type of job, that hardware industry job. So it's crazy to see. That was the first time of a real life example that I seen of the unequal pay at work. And she was a white woman too.
Crazy.
So it was just crazy to see that in real life, because you only hear stories of stuff like that.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, well, I can't think of any situation where I physically, was able to experience that happening to somebody. Like, and I don't think that ever happened to me. As far as
Unless you don't know.
That's true. That's very true. That's why I'm like, that's crazy that, it's still stuff that in a way we gotta fight for and make sure stuff is just equal. Of course, we just left Black History Month, so clearly we know this society that we live in is not set up for it to be equal amongst,
minorities.
Yeah, and the woman, of course, clearly is a minority. We live in a man's world. This is a man's world, but what they say, it won't be nothing. So why don't y'all give us credit when it's due?
I have a question, and this ain't me thinking. This is something like from I've just seen collectively. Do you think women use those not insecurities, but like they use their, men do the heavy lifting and stuff like that. Do they use those type of things to their advantages? Like when it comes to them trying to do something?
Okay, what you mean? I need an example.
So like, let's say like at a job, right? Everyone has to like go lift some heavy boxes or something heavy. And the woman says, well, men do that. They're stronger. They supposed to do stuff like that. They use that to their advantage. You think women be doing that?
They probably do, but at that point, it's just like.
If you work the same job,
I'm like, if you signed up, for the same job as this man.
Okay, so maybe not that example, but I can't think of a specific one, but there are times.
I guess, just like let's say a casual moment, like I seen a lady saying like when her husband is not around, she like Superwoman basically with all this stuff, and when he around, she like, can you help me? Type of a deal. So I feel like, women use that in a way when it's something like that. Like that's the example I guess that kind of came to mind when it's just like, oh yeah, I can't carry this in the house. Can you take it? Like it's moments where if I know you out and about and I need to get this stuff in the house, all right, I'm gonna do it. So I don't know if that's kind of what you meant.
I can't think of a real example, but the thing I would call it like turning their quote unquote weaknesses into their strengths. Like they say like women can't do certain things, but when it's only just that woman alone, like I can only really think of like job examples, but then even with that could kind of cancel out because it's like, well, you signed up. You signed up for this job to do
that's what I'm like,
heavy lifting or whatever it is.
And they ask you when you apply to certain jobs, like, can you lift this much? You say yes or no. If the answer is no, then
I think what I'm thinking, I might be thinking about like double standards. Like
okay.
there's some things that women could do but men can't do, or like they say like, what's a good double standard? I'm drawing a blank. Maybe we could research something. I can't think of one right now. If you haven't noticed already, I'm kind of leaving this more for Courtney
But you did
to
have a question
do.
that you were trying to, come up with. So I was
I'm,
trying
I be trying. I don't have none of this written down.
to.
She got her own research written down. I'm just trying to shoot this off the dome.
Yeah. So,
And it's not just for women with double standards. It's kind of with everything.
um, that's why I'm like,
Or like we could say like the double standard of like we call a woman a hoe if she goes around and sleeps with different men, but when men do it, it's not viewed upon the same way.
okay.
There's an example of that.
Yeah.
The real term I'm trying to think of is double standards.
Right.
The double standards of men and women. Like this picture right here, which is
Yeah.
crazy. They got her out like that is crazy.
This is wild
This
for
is
those.
wild.
For those who
I
are
can't-
watching, they see it our reaction.
I can't see it on. I can't put it on the screen, but that's crazy. They got, a fat man saying that's acceptable for men to be big and kind of out of shape, versus women it doesn't quote unquote look right. And they got her girls out.
I'm about to say is that plus it's the fact that he's saying that it's hot, so he taking his clothes off and just out here like I'm hot, and the girl like I'm hot and she don't got no clothes on. So
but
yeah,
in society that's not as acceptable.
right. That is a very strange picture. So I guess when I think about that question, when it comes to work, let's say how you mentioned like lifting something. Like if a guy is like, all right, I'm tired. And then a woman say she tired and this is working, but she didn't do as much. Is she technically...
I guess this would be more in the man then, because it's like men are perceived as to, you're not supposed to get tired while doing this
Right,
job.
okay.
You're supposed to be built like this and supposed to work like this. That's a woman. Women can do stuff like that.
Right. So so the man can't get tired. Yeah. So women can use that. They can be like, yeah, I'm tired. And they probably not really tired, probably didn't do much, but they know in reality, this man should be doing it anyway. But in a way, I mean, that is just kind of how it is. And that's kind of how it always been. And women are made different than men. That's the reason why I seen something about the whole feminist thing. It's like, well, y'all don't realize we are made different, right? Like, men are set up where y'all do have more strength than we do. Y'all, maybe don't show y'all emotions as much as we do and are in y'all feelings about different stuff. We are made differently. So that's just kind of how it is. But I don't know. I feel like for people to act like it's not a double standard, certain double standards are understandable to me in a way. I don't know.
So you're saying, go back to the thing, because I need a
like
example.
this is understandable as far as this is not a double standard. It's like they're saying this is a double standard of our society, but in a way, it's like this is just life. Like our parts as a woman are different than y'all parts. Clearly, God made man, and then he made woman, and he made us to have certain things that women don't have. So is this specifically, we go into this example, a double standard that society made? I mean, in reality, it's understandable why one is acceptable and one is not acceptable, because don't nobody most of the time looks at a man chest specifically and was like, oh my gosh, like, versus a woman, that's something it's supposed to be looked at in that way. They even talk about that in the Bible as far as like men, they look at us that way. So why would we want to be, in this case, out here just, so that's for that example. So,
I can't put that on the screen though, because we would get
yeah,
taken down.
definitely.
No, and it's a cartoon, which is even crazier.
Yeah, no, that's wild. That's definitely wild. So, I mean, the double standard when it comes even to just the pay is ridiculous because, yeah, if I sign up to do the same job as a man, like with the situation at Lowe's, why wouldn't I get paid the same amount as him? Why wouldn't I get paid the same amount as you? I'm saying if it's me.
I know she had came up to me. She's like, you know, I don't care about talking about how much I get paid because I want to know, like, you making more than me, you making less. Why is that?
Yeah.
And that's a good example of why you should do that in the workplace. But like after I found out, I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do with this information.
Yeah.
Because I'm not trying to get fired. I just got this job. Like, I understand and it's horrible that this happened. And she, low-key, was more qualified than me because she just got done working at a position like that. It couldn't have been about the different departments because, I mean, we were in different departments, but it shouldn't, that
What
shouldn't
was the
matter.
different departments?
I was in lumber. She was in tools.
I feel like, yeah.
Granted,
Unless it's like,
no, I did do more work over there. I'm not gonna lie to you there. Like, I had to drive a forklift and everything.
okay, well, now
I'm
that's
forklift
completely
certified.
different. Yeah. Oh, that's lit. No, that's all I'm like, okay, that's completely different then. You are literally doing a whole different job. So different jobs have different pay.
Now you think it's different?
Because
Even in the same building?
Yeah, like that's okay. I'm just saying this for example. I was an auditor. Another auditor, the person that's sitting here doing the exact same job as me, if the man got a couple more dollars than I did, I would be confused. We both sitting here doing the exact same job. Versus if you're in a whole nother department and what I do is like do, but what you're doing is do. Even when you're doing a lot more stuff, how can I be feeling some type of way that you get paid a couple more dollars than me? I'm just sitting here doing do. That's why I'm like, that's different because it's two different jobs. There's people who work the same, y'all working the same job, got the same job, what they call a task when you're applying for a job or whatever, and they say this would be your responsibilities or your task. If those are the exact same, there's no way that man should be getting paid more than me. We do the exact same job. So
You got me there. You got me there.
Yeah. So that's more so why women were upset because the woman was like, wait, I'm doing the same job as this man. So I'm confused as to why he getting paid more than me. With that being said, shout out to the women who fought for the equal pay. They made sure we got equal pay around like the 60s. It was like 64, I think it was. I like just put the 60s when I wrote it down, just to think like around that time. Like that's when women finally got equal pay. And they had been working for years at that point because, again, the first war, that was in 1920. And then World
War II, 1944.
Look at you. You was learning some stuff at school.
I don't know.
You was close. 1939 to 1945. That's
okay, well, it was in that time, but the heat of the war was really in 44 to 45.
Probably.
That's like the last 2 years of Hitler's reign. And them last 2 years, I bet that boy was stressing.
Ooh, I'm sure. So, yeah, that's why I'm like, so they was working through that, too. You got to think about it. From the first war, all the men that probably hurt themselves, thank you, probably didn't come back the same. So women was probably working for a minute in a place that normally they weren't. However, since I am doing this and this man is doing, again, the exact same thing I'm doing, it should be equal. If not, make another job for him to do more where he going to get paid more. If I'm doing the same thing as him, I want the same money he making.
So how do you feel about, I mean, we kind of talked about it, but like, why do you think men are trying to put that back into place, like this ideal of men just work and women can't work, or women shouldn't work these jobs.
Because okay,
Is it just that's it just to be controlling?
yeah, no, I was about to say it depends on the type of man. Because some men are saying, if I'm understanding your question correct, I don't want my woman to work because I want her to freely be able to.
Or how about like they don't want their woman to make more than them? Do they feel
Okay,
some? It's like an insecurity.
yeah, now that's insecurity in a man, and I've seen men say like, yeah, when my woman was making more than me, I was kind of like, dang, like it made them feel less of a man. So even if it wasn't an insecurity they had before, as soon as that moment went where she was making more money, it was almost like, what am I doing as a man? But I don't think there's nothing we can, not to say really do about that, but most men will feel that way because what the way in the mindset is really about the mindset. So the mindset since forever. So that means their fathers probably felt this way, their grandfathers felt this way. You make the money, you supply this, that, and the other for your partner. So if you look up at your partner making more than you definitely gonna feel probably less than a man, unless you the type of man where it's just like, hey, we got what we need. She making the money. We good. But some women then, in return, men have probably went through situations where that woman probably threw in their face, like, I'm making more money than you. You can't do, you feel me? And so the woman can technically have made it bad for some men. It's not always just on the man. Like a woman could have started making more money and then started making her man feel some type of way or something, you know? So you never know. It's kind of situational with that.
Okay,
It's not the same for everybody. It's hard to generalize something like that, I guess.
that's how I'm feeling about these questions. I'm thinking of right now, like I feel like with like abuse in a relationship, like if it's like your woman abusing you, like that's not like it's frowned upon more because it's a woman doing it to you than men doing it to women. I feel like
Mm,
it could be equal,
yeah.
but like from men looking at other men, like how you letting your girl hit you, bro?
I mean, yeah, you do look weak as a man.
See, even with just that statement, it's still some, I don't know what you call it, just this mentality is still there because it's just ingrained in us. This mentality
Yeah.
of, men have to look this certain way or to be in this stature.
Yeah. I mean, I shouldn't say you weak as a man. It's
But
sad, but you're
that was your first.
Yeah, that was. It was my first reaction to probably think that way, that the man is weak. Even the whole thing with emotions. If a man start crying, more than likely as women, naturally, we're going to be like, because, but in a way, it's just like the mindset thing too is from experience. So from experience, you used to men being strong, this, that, and the other. So if your woman beating on you, naturally, from experience, usually the man is the tougher one. So you're going to look like you're weak because how are you letting a woman beat on you as a man? So it's definitely all about the mindset that was instilled in us. So it's not our fault in a way.
Well, with that being said, we will be right back.
I'll get into that.
Okay, we have returned.
We back.
So I want to
Yeah.
return with, or unless you want to wrap up what you were just saying.
No, I mean, yeah, that sounds like that's just hard. That's all.
So we said that women beating your man low key look kind of weak.
Not you asked me that I want to wrap it up just to still bring it
No,
back around town.
I'm trying to add on to it
Okay,
with
I'm
something
listening.
else. So, let's say with the women making more, not even just making more, like the different type of jobs. Let's say like, your girl work at, let's say Ford, and your guy work at like Hobby Lobby. How does that look from like the outside in? Because of course she making more, plus she's working harder than my man's at Hobby Lobby as a cashier.
Okay, so for me, I would say it's all about communicating in a way. It's just like when you met this person, was they already working at Hobby Lobby? Like they communicate, yeah, I've been here, I love it here. They probably one day want to be the manager there. Cool. They probably gonna make a lot of money at one point being like the manager versus just like working there, as a regular clerk or whatever the right term is, cashier, stock person. Um, and you working at the plant. Is that somewhere you would want to stay long term? Like, are these jobs that y'all have already been in where it's just like, when I met you, before I found out about your job, I liked you. So, you feel me? Versus us getting together.
So does that job change your look on that person? Like, oh, he's just a cashier.
Yeah, I I think that's really a hard question in a way because if you like the person, it shouldn't matter until they get to the point where, for example, when it comes to like marriage and y'all really seeing yourself like blend finances and the money is gonna play a factor in a way the type of lifestyle y'all choose to live. So are y'all gonna choose to live a lifestyle where naturally, yeah, if the woman is making more money, y'all basing it off of that? Are you a woman that's, set up where you don't mind and then you're not the type to put down your man? But we just naturally live in a generation where after so long, let's say 10 years down the line, more than likely, let's the woman, she been working that job now for 10 years and he been working the same job for 10 years and you feel me, she didn't probably triple her income based off of his. I would be looking like
But then, is there a problem with the woman being a breadwinner?
as long as the woman don't mind down the line, she going, and then at the same time, then at that point, do you feel comfortable? I think it's a thing for sure where it's a small select few, but stay at home dads.
I was just about to say that. House husband.
Yeah, yeah, house husband.
He living the soft life.
Okay, hey, that's where it gets tricky. Clearly, because a majority of women would not want that, and the random select few who would be okay with that, I'm sure is slim to none. And I can't say none. It's just
Why do you
slim.
think that is?
Naturally, because of was the mindset that people have had since probably the beginning of time.
I feel like though with our generation, that stigma is starting to come off because they're just starting to do kind of whatever they want.
The stigma of what?
Of men always doing everything. Women, because I want to be strong, independent women. I want to do this. I want to do that.
Okay.
What did you think I was trying to go at?
I don't know where I thought you was going, but the stigma, I would say, is kind of going off as far as like women wanting to be independent, that part. But that don't mean when a man come in her life, she don't want that man probably to be making more money than her. For sure, probably gonna be wanting that man to be making more money than her. We do want to, like, we do live in a very the modern woman versus the traditional. This is the traditional before they started making strides for us. So this is the traditional for sure. In the house, wasn't thinking about the money. She knew that it was gonna get paid because the man was gonna pay it. Before we started doing stuff on our own, like when Black women started opening hair salons and all of this different type of things. Like before we even started doing that, but once we started doing that and it kept evolving to the point, yeah, now women are making six figures easily, probably. Like, we just live in a society where even while I'm making this money, when you come in my life, for example, the whole thing with the high value man and women, this, that, and the other, more than likely, if you're making so much money as a woman, you're not going to attract, not being funny, the, person that's working at McDonald's. Like, you're probably not going to attract that for real because of this fact that you're in this category. You're probably going to be around certain type of people and this, that, and the other. So you wouldn't even, that's rare. But the times that it happened, I mean, maybe she set up to the point where she can bring you in her business and you making money that way. So, you know, the women might be able to finesse it that way, but a lot of the times, like how they say, the whole thing when it was talking about the high value man, well, you not a high value woman, so how you think you could be with this man? So even they was saying that with the men.
Talk to him.
That's why I'm
Talk to him.
now he getting hype because I'm talking about the men. So it go both ways. Period. If you the man, more than likely you want your woman to be making something. Again,
You always want your girl to do something.
Yeah, like so the people who do again want they women even modern day to not do nothing. Trust me, that man, he probably not it, like for real. And I was listening to, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was R.C. Blakes, if anybody listens to him, and he does a lot of podcasting and sermons. I think he's a pastor. Let me take that back all the way. I don't think he's a pastor, but I know he does like a lot of conferences. That's the word I was probably looking for and stuff. He's written books about women. And I'm just like, he was one that said that. He was like, don't give it on a man who want to have you just sit around the house and not do nothing. Most of the time, we have ambitions now, so walk in that. And why not make money for the both of y'all? Well, why not both of y'all make money? I guess what I'm trying to say. R.C. Blake's Jr. Ministries. He is a pastor. He is a pastor. Okay, I didn't want to be wrong. I hate being wrong.
We don't be wrong here.
Yeah, we like to. Yeah, I'm like, I wanted to say facts. That's yep. Author, speaker. He be speaking some truth too. So yeah, he was the one that was saying that. He was like, run away from that type of man. Again, unless it's one of those things where you feel safe, where he's just like, no, I want you to live that soft life. You know, like you can kind of feel the energy. I forgot exactly what he was saying too, because it was deeper than, like, you will start seeing the red flags of this man being verbally abusive, you know, all of that stuff. That's why I'm like, you will see those versus a man who just wants to take care of his woman. And after a certain point, trust me, she'll probably get bored anyway and want to do something. And if her doing something is nowadays being a social media influencer, like I've seen stuff like that. Like you could tell, like the man, he goes out, works a real job, but this woman, she be recording TikToks and stuff all day, and you feel me, getting money off of that. So that's a little something. Vacation money, whatever you want to call it, it's something.
I don't have any more questions.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Your answers are like really broad for like you kind of could answer anything else I'm really thinking of.
Yeah, no, they are. That's why I'm like, I mean, the questions that you was asking, it was kind of like I had to generalize some stuff because unless it's a specific example, it'd be hard to say. Like doing, if you got an example of.
I have nothing.
Anything that was said. I'm saying people that's watching. Comment down below. Comment down below women who, you know, might have inspired you and different things that they did. That's why I'm like, the women in my life, they all did jobs that, even though it wasn't factory job, like it was hard work. Like anything in like the medical field, like nursing and stuff like that is hard. That's not easy for the women. It's not easy on their bodies. Like now we live in a society where they use like instruments and stuff now to like lift people, like a Hoyer is what it's called. So a Hoyer.
Oh, what?
A Hoyer lift. Hoyer lift. This is what it looks like. For those who don't know, a Hoyer lift is like this thing that you use. You like wrap the people's legs in it and stuff. And it's how you help transfer.
And it costs $1,500.
Yeah, those things is expensive. But again, this is what now they have at these facilities versus when women had to probably lift these patients. And men was probably thinking, oh, she a nurse, she not doing nothing. Like, this is before we got all these different things to help assist us. You know, and it's a good thing now we got male nurses. So I know for a fact they be in those situations where they're like, all right, let's call the male nurse for that reason. Because, yeah, y'all are built differently. Y'all just, you know, We appreciate that.
So are you saying it's okay for women to just fit in these categories where it's like they can't try to do jobs like that? Like where they gotta lift heavy? Because there's
Um,
certain sometimes, like you said, like okay, I'm not strong. I'm literally not physically strong enough to do this.
yeah, I would say we all, everybody knows their like limit. So even if you do a job like that where you're doing heavy lifting as a woman at a plant or this, that, and the other, like after a while, I would recommend not because we gonna feel that on our body after a while. Versus like the man, they structure is kind of different. You feel me? They can do it a little longer, but me, you know, especially if it gets to the point where I'm carrying babies and stuff like that, that's already, putting, my body into like a different type of stock shape, shock or state, where it's just like, yeah, I think if women chooses to say, nah, I'm not doing that job, that kind of job's for a man, cool. But the ones who say, I want to do that, yeah, that's the reason why we had to get to a point where we like, all right, I'm doing this, doing the same thing as you. I should be making the same money as you.
Okay, okay, that raises up a question then. Do you think they need to extend the time for maternity leave?
Oh, definitely. Without a doubt.
How long do you think they should
For
go
sure.
for?
So I had looked this up actually because like the maternity leave in like other countries are like
Well,
a
let's keep it a
year.
buck. Everything in the other countries is
Oh,
just
okay.
better. Like they pay their like servers at the restaurants actual wage instead of like because here,
$3.
yeah, in America it's like $3,
That's
three
crazy.
$4, and you just depend on people tipping you all night. And maternity leave here could only be like 2 weeks at the most or
No,
something. Oh,
you can actually get depending on your job, 6 weeks is the norm. Like 6 weeks, I think is like the max. I know somebody who only had maternity leave for 2 weeks. Like I know somebody who literally went back to work after only having their baby, for 2 weeks. Some people about 4, but yeah, 6 weeks is the norm for US. And some jobs don't even.
where we at on the list?
Some jobs,
We're,
because look,
we are ranked last in government mandated paid leave for new
exactly,
parents.
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Because this is saying that your job has to pay you. Like my job, I did not get paid for my leave. In some places, your government, they're set up where they're going to pay you when you go on maternity leave. I mean, because I'm working. I just happen to be married, even if they're not married, I don't know. But
Well, I wasn't thinking of pay. I was just thinking in general, just like
a leave.
because I'm not thinking because this is America. They're not gonna pay you to not do nothing.
Yeah.
There's only some jobs that have those type of luxuries like that. Like I don't know. I don't know if the plant does that, or I feel like the hospital would, just because they know.
I think it depends on longevity, how long you've been at a job, and like certain benefits that job has that you've been at. Because I know somebody where they couldn't do maternity leave, but they had to do like how you get injured and they have like short term leave and then long term leave.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a serious surgery. So I think she used her like short term leave
Oh,
to
okay.
take her. It wasn't a maternity leave in her manual, so that's what she used. So yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
It is weird.
It's a it's a
You
weird
know what's
society we
weird?
live in.
I have no idea if we still rolling or not. Because I don't know what happened to the monitor. This jank monitor, this funk booty monitor.
Not the funk booty monitor.
This.
Well, listen,
I'm taking it back.
Yeah,
It's just
okay.
decided. I'm taking it back.
Yeah, Alan hasn't been satisfied with this monitor, but I mean, we could go on a rant about various things that women have went through, this, that, and the other. I shouted out myself, and then of course show gratitude and appreciation for all of the women in my life. I'm so grateful for my aunties and cousins, everybody who showed me what it's like to be a woman, and of course, just a Black woman in general. We go through so much, but we still come out, with our head held up, looking beautiful, looking amazing while doing what we got to do. So I appreciate being able to see all of that in my family line. And then, Alan, I know you're a man. So, what have you seeing in general that you appreciate with the women out there?
Well, first and foremost, shout out just women in general. They're
Yeah.
just amazing people. I just think the fact that like childbirth on the pain scale goes out of the pain scale, like out of, I think it's out of 10 or 12, and it goes above that.
Yeah.
And the fact women just come out of there fine is just amazing to me, that we as men can never deal with, or even like menstrual periods. That's something I would never understand, the amount of pain women go through, and I would not want to, because no, just the way I've heard different women describe to me how that feels, it's just terrible.
Yes, no joke. Them PMS systems, ladies, y'all know, be in our feelings when the snack.
I remember when I was young and I didn't understand. I'm like, why is she acting like that? I'm like, she was just cool a couple days. She was cool a couple of days ago. What is up with her? I'm like, what's wrong? Then my mom had to explain to me what happened. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it'd be them hormone changes for us, man. It's ridiculous.
But yeah, shout out to mom specifically.
Yeah,
You know, one of the hardest working women in my life that I've seen. Oh yeah, we're gonna put the applause on.
yes. Shout out to mom.
Shout out to mom. You know, instilling this ideals to me of, you know, how to be a good man to a woman, and, you know, just teaching me certain things about women. You know, I don't have any siblings, or, you know, I didn't really grow up with my cousins like that a lot. So a lot of things about women that I learned are just from her. And, you know, my aunties, I got more female aunts. Why would I say that? I got more aunties than uncles. So we just got more women in the family in general.
Yeah.
I love y'all, my cousins, little cousins, aunties, grandmas, both of them. I love y'all.
Little women. Y'all lit, we lit. Hey, we lit. Okay, y'all. I'm not going to get hype on y'all right now. But yeah, so shout out to them. I love it. I love being a woman. That's who God made me. I appreciate him for doing his thing, taking his time. So yeah, I think that's really it for this episode. That was a good one though.
That was good.
Yeah. I hope, you know, we keep giving flowers where it's due.
So with that being said, there go mom walking in.
Sneaking around.
With that being said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Hit the notification bell. Get notified next time we get uploaded.
Yeah. Ratings.
Rating. I didn't say it on the last one.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Dang. Ratings, Spotify, Apple, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Hit the link in the bio. Follow us if you want to.
Connect.
Courtney got to put something on her YouTube. She changed her. Go to YouTube and go see Courtney's new banner.
Oh yeah, because Alan said my first one was given like 2015.
It was. It was giving them 2015 elevator music in the background vibes.
Please. Well, the girl upgraded, so we lit. It's nice. So yes, definitely subscribe. I'm posting something soon. I promise. I'm gonna give y'all something. Jesus.
Post a picture. Do something.
Okay.
You can't even post pictures on YouTube.
You can make a post.
You can make a post.
In the post, you can add pictures on the post. I'm getting Alan hip, y'all.
Make a post. You can make a post. YouTube want to be Facebook so bad. What is that? I don't know. I have no idea if it's on or not. You can come on. What is this? Oh, this the card?
You about to go get some cookies.
I never had crumble cookie.
I never had it either.
Nobody has. That's crazy. It's more like a LA thing.
Oh, okay. That makes sense because them cookies is expensive.
Like, you ever see them like in the box and they have like the different ones?
I think so.
It kind of look like Krispy Kreme with the different donuts in the box.
Y'all, we going on the rant now about cookies. We gonna talk to y'all
I just
later.
like talking. All right. Peace.
Out. See y'all.